A moon, barely 12 miles wide, orbits a dwarf planet you have probably never heard of, and it completes a full lap every 15 hours. That is faster than a single work shift. But what is even crazier is that this tiny world is not even close to the strangest moon out there. There are moons made of ice with oceans hidden underneath. There are moons that spew fire into the vacuum of space. There are moons that used to be planets, and moons that might one day tear themselves apart. By the end of this list, the moon in our own night sky is going to look almost boring. Captured moons are the first stop on this journey. These are not born alongside their planet. They are asteroids or dwarf planets that wandered too close and got trapped by gravity, forever locked into an orbit they never chose. Mars has 2 of them, named Phobos and Deimos, both small, lumpy, and irregular, nothing like the smooth sphere we see above Earth. Phobos orbits so close that it is slowly spiraling inward, and in about 50 million years it will either crash into Mars or break apart into a ring. No smooth curve, no stable future, just a slow countdown written into its orbit. But the next moon on this list does not orbit peacefully at all. It orbits backwards. Triton is Neptune's largest moon, and it moves in the opposite direction of Neptune's own rotation, a retrograde orbit found almost nowhere else in the solar system. That backwards motion is a signature, evidence that Triton was not born there but was captured from the Kuiper Belt, the icy debris field beyond Neptune. Its surface sits at a bone-chilling -235 degrees Celsius, one of the coldest measured surfaces in the solar system, and yet nitrogen geysers erupt from beneath the ice, shooting plumes miles into the thin atmosphere. Cold on the surface, active underneath. And that contradiction, a frozen shell hiding something restless below, is about to become the defining theme of everything left on this list. Because the next moon does not just hide activity, it hides an entire ocean. Europa, one of Jupiter's 4 largest moons, is covered in a shell of ice crisscrossed by long reddish cracks, and underneath that shell, scientists believe there is a global ocean of liquid water, possibly containing more water than every ocean on Earth combined. No sunlight reaches it, no sky, no waves, no shoreline. Just a dark liquid world sealed inside ice, kept warm not by a sun, but by the crushing gravitational flexing of Jupiter itself. If you dropped through that ice, you would fall into total darkness, into a sea that has never once seen light. And Europa is not even the most geologically active moon in that system. That title belongs to Io, and it earns it with fire instead of water. Io is the most volcanically active body in the entire solar system, home to hundreds of active volcanoes that can launch plumes over 300 kilometers into space. The same gravitational squeezing that keeps Europa's ocean liquid tears Io apart from the inside, generating enough internal heat to keep its surface in a constant state of eruption. Picture standing on a world where the ground itself is never still, where sulfur lakes glow across a landscape the color of a bruise. Io proves that a moon does not need sunlight to be violent. It only needs to be squeezed hard enough by something bigger. And if gravity alone can do that to a moon, imagine what it can do to an entire ring system. Saturn's moon Mimas looks harmless at first, almost cartoonish, thanks to one massive impact crater that gives it the unmistakable look of a giant eye staring out into space. That crater, named Herschel, stretches nearly a third of the width of the entire moon, the scar of a collision so powerful it nearly shattered Mimas completely. But the truly unsettling part is not the crater. It is what scientists suspect is hiding beneath it, a young, possibly still forming ocean, buried under a surface that looks ancient and dead. A moon that looks like a fossil on the outside, but might be alive and changing underneath. If you have made it this far into the solar system's strangest hiding places, this is the moment to hit like and subscribe, because the next moon does not just hide an ocean, it may hide the ingredients for life itself. Enceladus, another moon of Saturn, blasts water vapor and ice particles directly into space, through cracks nicknamed tiger stripes near its south pole. Spacecraft have flown directly through these plumes and detected organic molecules, the carbon-based building blocks associated with life as we understand it. Underneath its icy shell lies a global ocean kept liquid by the same tidal forces flexing moons like Io and Europa, and that ocean vents directly into the emptiness of space in visible geysers. No breathable air, no sunlight, but potentially the exact chemistry needed for something to exist in total darkness. And if a moon this small can hide an ocean, you have to ask what a moon large enough to have its own atmosphere might be hiding. Titan answers that question, and it is Saturn's largest moon, the second largest moon in the entire solar system, and the only moon known to have a substantial atmosphere. That atmosphere is thicker than Earth's, and beneath its orange haze lie rivers, lakes, and rain, but not of water. Titan's lakes are made of liquid methane and ethane, hydrocarbons that stay liquid at temperatures near -179 degrees Celsius. Picture standing on a shoreline where the rain falls as flammable liquid gas, and the rivers cut through solid ice instead of stone. Titan is the closest thing in our solar system to another Earth, and yet almost every rule of that comparison breaks the moment you look closer. But even a moon with its own weather system is not the strangest kind on this list. That distinction goes to the moons of moons, tiny satellites theoretically capable of orbiting larger moons, the same way our moon orbits Earth. We have never confirmed one, but the physics allows for them, and some researchers have proposed the term submoons for these hypothetical worlds. A moon, orbiting a planet, orbiting a star, a nested structure of gravity, stacked layer upon layer. If one is ever confirmed, it would mean gravity's grip runs even deeper into the void than we currently understand, a hierarchy of orbits folding in on itself like a hall of mirrors. And that idea, gravity nesting endlessly inside itself, becomes even stranger with the next entry. Because some moons are not permanent at all. Ring moons form, break apart, and reform within a planet's ring system, caught in an endless cycle of destruction and rebirth. Some of Saturn's small ring-embedded moons, like Pan and Daphnis, carve visible gaps into the rings as they orbit, their gravity acting like a plow through icy debris. Over long enough timescales, moons like these are thought to slowly disintegrate under gravitational stress, only for their material to potentially clump back together again elsewhere in the rings. A moon that is never truly finished, always being born and unbuilt at the same time. And that instability, a moon fighting to hold itself together, becomes a matter of life or death for the next entry on this list. Some moons orbit so close to their planet that they sit inside what is called the Roche limit, the distance at which a planet's gravity becomes strong enough to overpower the moon's own gravity and tear it apart. Neptune's moon Triton, the same backwards orbiting world from earlier, is slowly spiraling inward, and within the next few 100 million years, it is expected to cross that limit. When it does, Neptune's gravity will not destroy it in an instant. It will stretch it layer by layer until the moon unravels into a ring of debris, circling where a whole world used to be. No collision, no impact, just gravity patiently pulling a moon apart atom by atom over unimaginable time. And if gravity can dismantle a moon this slowly, the final entry raises an even larger question, whether being a moon is even a fixed identity at all. Because the last category on this list is not a type of moon by composition or location, but by definition itself, dwarf planet moons, and exomoons, moons that orbit worlds so small or so distant that the line between moon and planet nearly disappears. Pluto's largest moon, Charon, is more than half the size of Pluto itself, so large that the two bodies technically orbit a shared point of gravity outside of Pluto entirely, a true binary system rather than a simple planet and moon pair. And beyond our solar system, astronomers have detected candidate exomoons orbiting planets hundreds of light years away, worlds so distant that confirming a moon around them pushes the very limits of our technology. At that scale, a moon is no longer just a rock trapped by a planet's gravity. It becomes a question of where one world ends and another begins. And out among those distant stars, that question may never fully be answered. From a tiny captured rock spiraling toward its own destruction, to backwards orbits, hidden oceans, volcanic fire, flammable rain, and moons that may not even deserve their name, the sky above every world may be far more crowded and far stranger than it first appears. If this journey through every kind of moon expanded the way you see the night sky, subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next list waits just beyond the next orbit, and the universe is not finished showing you how strange it can get.